She strung me along for 8 years, always saying she wasn't ready for marriage until I found a marriage certificate in her bag. When I confronted her, she slapped me and called me worthless. But here's the crucial part: I was the tech genius who built her entire life from the ground up. Her true love went straight to jail. This isn't just a breakup story. Wait and see how I turn her betrayal into a public spectacle that will dismantle her entire life. They'd been sitting on the couch for nearly 2 hours, clutching a marriage certificate in my hand. The photo on the bright red marriage certificate was of Isabella Fansbella, my girlfriend of 8 years, and the man was her so-called male best friend, later revealed as secret husband. So this was what a male best friend later revealed as secret husband was: someone you could sleep with and get married to. I pulled a self-deprecating smile, but found the bitterness in my heart impossible to suppress. Ben, what's wrong? By the time Isabella Fansbella rushed back, I had managed to compose myself, but seeing the anxiety on her face, I still couldn't help but feel a pang of heartache. What was this exactly? She had secretly married someone else, yet she was still putting on this act of deep affection in front of me, which only made me feel disgusted. I pushed her hand away, calmly picked up the marriage certificate, then threw it at her. Isabella Fansbella, why didn't you invite me when you and Sterling Davies got your marriage certificate? Didn't you want my blessing? I had intended to say it with a smile, but my expression was uncontrollably sorrowful. Isabella Fansbella's worried expression instantly turned pale. She trembled slightly as she caught the marriage certificate, parted her lips as if to explain, but then fell silent. Seeing the mockery in my eyes, don't you have anything to say, Isabella Fansbella? If you explain, I'm willing to listen. Watching the woman I had loved for 8 years remain silent, the last shred of hope in my heart shattered completely. Isabella Fansbella, if you just divorce him, I can pretend nothing happened. As long as you divorce him. I loved her so much. Love had humbled me to the extreme. Even at this point, I was still wondering if Isabella Fansbella had some hidden hardship. Ben, Isabella Fansbella looked at my reddened eyes, an undeniable pang of heartache on her face. She reached out as if to hug me, but then let her hand drop. Ben, can you understand me? In that moment, I thought I was hearing things. What was Isabella Fansbella saying? She wanted me to understand her. I had been with her for 8 whole years, and now she was telling me that I was actually the other man in someone else's marriage, and she wanted me to understand her unavoidable cheating, or understand her brazen timing. You sicken me. I shot her a disgusted look, slammed the door, and left, my face grim. I had proposed to Isabella Fansbella countless times, but she always brushed me off with the excuse that she wasn't ready. I always thought she just had a fear of commitment, but I never imagined she was already married. I couldn't and wouldn't believe it, especially since Isabella Fansbella had seemed to love me so much when we were together. She tolerated all my flaws and was willing to live with me in a rented apartment, eating ramen noodles by my side. After that day, I moved out of the apartment. I kept thinking Isabella Fansbella would come looking for me. After all, she liked me so much. But a whole week passed, and she hadn't even sent me a single text. I opened our chat log for the 100th time, finally unable to bear it any longer, and sent her a message. Don't you really have anything to say to me? The message was edited and re-edited for a long time, but I kept delaying sending it, until I finally threw my phone aside in frustration. That night, consumed by anger, I hadn't carefully checked if the marriage certificate was real, but whether it was real or fake, Isabella Fansbella keeping that marriage certificate in her bag made me feel utterly humiliated. I really couldn't forgive Isabella Fansbella, but I couldn't deny that I still loved her, and I kept hoping she would explain. My phone ringtone suddenly rang. My heart leaped with joy, and I eagerly picked up my phone, only to find it was a spam call. Just as I was about to put the phone down in disappointment, I suddenly realized that the message I had just composed had been sent at some point. No, it must have been sent, but I received a red exclamation mark indicating failed message. Isabella Fansbella. She had deleted me. Disbelieving, I sent her another message, but it still came back with a red exclamation mark indicating failed message. Without thinking, I dialed her number, only to hear the busy signal. The number you have dialed is currently busy. Please try again later. My already scarred heart was brutally torn open by the repeated voice prompts, bleeding profusely and hurting so much that I could barely stand. Isabella Fansbella. She was truly heartless. 8 years of feelings, just discarded like that. She was clearly the one at fault. Couldn't I even get a single explanation? I swallowed my pride, dragging my suitcase back home. I had thought it through. As long as she could give me a reasonable explanation, I could forgive her. As long as she divorced Sterling Davies, I could even propose to her immediately. But before I even reached my doorstep, I saw the front door open from inside, and Sterling Davies emerged, wearing my pajamas and carrying a bag of trash, a wide smile on his face. The woman inside was cooing and seeking a kiss from him, and the two of them were entwined as if no one else existed. My heart felt as if a large hand had fiercely squeezed it, and for a moment, the pain was so intense I couldn't even hold my phone. With a thud, my phone dropped to the floor, its screen shattered. The page was still on the message it sent her, the red exclamation mark indicating failed message, a painful, blinding red, along with the couple's sweetness before me, stinging my eyes. Perhaps my gaze was too obvious as they parted, breathless. Isabella Vanzabella's red lips even drew out a lingering, suggestive trace of saliva. Her slightly displeased gaze turned to me, and when she saw it was me, her expression instantly froze. Her flushed face gradually turned pale, and her eyes darted nervously. Bella, is this the ex-boyfriend you told me about? What, is he here to beg you to get back together? Isabella Vanzabella's so-called male best friend, Sterling Davies, put his arm intimately around her shoulder, his tone mocking. Isabella Vanzabella, is this your explanation? Watching them so intimately, my chest ached even more, and my eyes grew cold. To spare your feelings, I've already had to compromise so much with Sterling Davies. Can you just leave me alone? As Sterling Davies looked at her with a puzzled expression, a hint of guilt flashed across Isabella Vanzabella's face. Wearing the matching pajamas I had bought for her, she slowly walked up to me, shoved me hard, and spoke in a nasty tone. Before I could react, she pushed me down the steps. I fell heavily to the ground, my suitcase clattering beside me, and for a moment, the pain was so intense I couldn't even stand up. Even Sterling Davies was startled. Then, as if remembering something, his eyes filled with disdain. Bella, you put off marrying me for this kind of person. What's there to feel guilty about after a breakup? Enough. Let's go back inside. Isabella Vanzabella gave me a deep look, then turned and walked away. I lay there miserably on the ground, watching my girlfriend walk into the apartment we shared with another man. I never imagined Isabella Vanzabella would cheat. No, this wasn't cheating. I was forced into being the other man. Isabella Vanzabella and I attended the same high school. Back then, she was the top student in humanities, and I was the top student in sciences. But before the class divisions, we often tied for first place. Whether openly or covertly, I was always competing with her. Back then, all I thought about was outperforming her academically, never considering why she always relentlessly pursued me. It wasn't until just before the college entrance exam that she, now in a different class, uncharacteristically invited me to the library. At the time, I was still on high alert, thinking she wanted to rattle my confidence before the exam, and I was very reluctant, but the thought of graduating soon made me go in the end. The library was open until p.m., and she asked me to meet at 7:50 p.m. I arrived a few minutes early, only to find she was already waiting by the door. Isabella Vanzabella, what do you need me for? I frowned at her, and the caution in my eyes made her laugh outright. Benjamin Hayes Ben, which university are you planning to apply to? What's it to you? I'm not telling. I want to go to the same university as you. Just tell me. This was the first time I saw Isabella Vanzabella show a hint of vulnerability. She was always beautiful, with fair skin and delicate features, and a gentle personality. Many people had expressed their admiration for her over the years, but with me, she was always arrogant, which made me instinctively dislike her. Perhaps it was more a constant sense of being pursued, as if she was always ready to kick me down and claim the top spot for herself. Eastwood University, Physics Department. Looking at Isabella Vanzabella, whose eyes were sparkling as she gazed at me, I acknowledged for the first time the boys in class who praised her. My heart suddenly began to beat restlessly. Then I thought it might be a trick, and regretting what it just blurted out, I wish I could slap myself. My first choice will also be Eastwood University. I heard her voice behind me as I turned to leave. Like I care what school you apply to, I retorted, somewhat exasperated, but a smile played uncontrollably on my lips. The day the admissions results came out, Isabella Vanzabella confessed her feelings to me. I wanted to haughtily reject her, but my wildly beating heart betrayed me. Benjamin Hayes Ben, your heart is beating so fast. The mischievous glint in her eyes made my face flush completely. We got together that summer after high school graduation and have been together ever since. I always firmly believed we would definitely get married, until that day, when I accidentally saw her marriage certificate. It was laughable that I was still making excuses for her. Thinking back, it was truly pitiable and sad. I sat on the ground for a long time, until Uncle Ted from Parkside Apartments saw me on his patrol and came over to help me up. Mr. Hayes, what happened? Did you have a fight with your girlfriend? Isabella Vanzabella and I had lived in this Parkside Apartments for several years, and Uncle Ted was familiar with both of our faces. Isabella Vanzabella and I broke up. Uncle Ted, I won't be living here anymore. Thank you for taking care of me all these years. Perhaps we'll meet again. I forced a smile, speaking with effort, my voice filled with bitterness. Oh, Mr. Hayes, you and your girlfriend have been together for so many years. How can you just break up like that? What a pity. Girls have tempers. That's normal. Go coax her. Don't miss out on such a good match. Uncle Ted earnestly advised me. I wanted to coax her, but she secretly married someone else 3 years ago. Uncle Ted, do you know, I had unknowingly been the other man for 3 years. I picked up my phone and suitcase from the ground, enduring the pain, and looked at the apartment door with a hint of hatred. How could that be? I thought you and your girlfriend were so loving. I assumed Uncle Ted patted my shoulder sympathetically, holding my shattered phone. I limped away from Parkside Apartments and took a taxi home. I unlocked the door and stepped inside, only to find my parents at home. Ben, why are you back without telling us? Where's Bella? Didn't she come back with you? Mom heard the commotion and came out of the kitchen, still wearing her apron. Only then did I remember it was Saturday. My parents were both teachers and had the day off. She had something to do, so she didn't come back. Mom, what are you cooking? It smells delicious. I paused for a moment, then clumsily changed the subject. I hadn't yet figured out how to tell my parents about Isabella Fanzabella, especially since they had always believed Isabella Fanzabella and I were going to get married. Your palm is bleeding. It's nothing. I just fell while walking. You'll go change first. I shouldn't have come home. Even though I really didn't want to stay in a hotel anymore, I hadn't yet figured out how to tell my parents about Isabella Fanzabella when the doorbell rang. Is it Bella? Your auntie was just asking why Ben didn't bring you home. That boy said you had something to do. Did you two have a fight? If that boy bullies you, tell your auntie, and she'll teach him a lesson. Mom's surprised voice rang out while I was still changing in my room. My expression instantly changed at the sound, and I rushed to open the door. What was Isabella Fanzabella doing here? Hey, you boy, if you bully Bella, they'll hit you. Mom's voice echoed from outside the room. I led Isabella Fanzabella into my room, and the moment the door locked, I could no longer contain my rage. What exactly do you want? My eyes reddened, and I shoved her to the floor. My voice low as I demanded, Ben, Isabella Fanzabella lay on the floor, her eyes instantly reddening, whether from the fall or something else. Then she looked at me pitifully. I actually softened for a moment, and just as I reached out to help her, the image of her kissing Sterling Davies flashed in my mind. I snapped back to reality, fiercely pinching my palm, the pain instantly bringing me back to my senses. Isabella Fanzabella was already married to her so-called best friend, while I, like a fool, kept proposing to her all these years, even worrying that she wouldn't say yes because she had a fear of commitment. While I was still stunned, Isabella Fanzabella had somehow come closer, cautiously reaching out to hug me. Isabella Fanzabella, what exactly do you want? You're already married. Can you stop disgusting me? The moment her soft, delicate hands touched me, I was so disgusted that goosebumps erupted all over me. I violently shook off her hand, roaring uncontrollably. With a bang, a loud noise came from outside the door. I realized with a start that my parents might have heard my voice, so I simply gave up trying. Isabella Fanzabella, you are utterly shameless. You and Sterling Davies have been married for 3 years, and for those 3 years, you kept saying he was just your best friend. And I believed you, even though you spent half of every month with him. I still put up with it. I always felt we would get married, and I always believed you loved me, and my voice turned hoarse with anger, and my eyes grew colder as I looked at her. But is this how you repay my trust? If you wanted to marry him, why didn't you just break up with me? Why didn't you? Do you just enjoy playing with people's feelings? You truly sicken me. Get out now, immediately, and never appear before me again, otherwise, I might truly lose control and hurt you. Ben, don't you really love me anymore? Do you have no feelings for me at all? Isabella Fanzabella's eyes welled up with tears. She seemed to disbelieve that I no longer loved her. You're hilarious. I love you. And then what? You divorce him, I sneered. Ben, can't we go back to how things were? Her eyes held an innocent cruelty. I truly doubted if I had misheard her. What a ridiculous statement. Was this really someone who graduated from a reputable university? Do you really know what you're saying? I looked at her in disbelief, my voice filled with shock. But we were clearly so good together before. Damn it, you moron, get out! Do you seriously expect me to be the other man for the rest of my life? Get out, you rotten fool! As Isabella Fanzabella cried and left. I furiously punched the bed, the lingering reluctance and pain in my heart replaced by intense fury. I never imagined that my girlfriend of 8 years would be such a person. The bright, radiant face of the girl from my memories gradually blurred, replaced by Isabella Fanzabella's pretentious and greedy face. Luckily, I found out. Luckily, otherwise, I might have unknowingly been the other man for her entire life. Ben, Mom, you heard it too. Isabella Fanzabella secretly married her so-called male best friend, later revealed the secret husband 3 years ago. There's no future for us. I quit my job before to be with Isabella Fanzabella. I chose a small workplace near her company, where my annual salary was less than 100,000. But the thought of being with Isabella Fanzabella made me feel content. I never liked that job. When I interviewed for it, my boss even asked if such a minor position would be beneath an Eastwood graduate like me. Looking back, I must have been out of my mind then, giving up my career for Isabella Fanzabella. When I submitted my resignation, it was approved in less than half an hour. After all, my position wasn't primarily technical, and what's more, because of my outstanding work ability, I often took the initiative to help the maintenance department with tricky issues, which had long displeased my supervisor. A month later, after completing the handover procedures, I walked out of the office building feeling light. Downstairs, I saw a Maserati parked His red body quite striking. I glanced at it, ignored it, and headed towards the parking lot. Hey, Benjamin Hayes Ben, want to talk? After I had walked a few steps, the red car reversed a few paces and stopped in front of me. The window rolled down, revealing a handsome face. But I didn't recognize him. Excuse me, I don't know you. I shook my head and continued walking. I'm the owner of Apex Developments. Are you sure you don't want to talk? The man pursued me relentlessly, the car slowly following me, and he handed me a business card. Apex Developments, Crestwood City's only top 100 global enterprise. I looked at the name on the business card. Phoenix Miller, CEO of Apex Developments. I don't think I have anything special that would warrant a real estate CEO personally trying to recruit me. You do. I need your skills. I noticed you last year when you helped your previous small, struggling company attack my system. I recall it wasn't successful at the time. Actually, it was successful. It just so happened that I was there and managed to fix it. Only then did I stop and take a good look at the man in front of me. He looked to be in his early 20s, with dyed red hair, flamboyant and individualistic. He didn't look like a company CEO at all, more like a rock or rap artist. I seamlessly transitioned into the new company. It was a technical role, relaxed and comfortable, but it definitely required brains. My current monthly salary was 7 times what I earned at my previous workplace. They even arranged an apartment for me near the company. I deleted and blocked all contact methods for Isabella Vansbella, focusing on work and study, striving to fill the void of the past few years. I thought Isabella Vansbella and I would never have any contact again. Until the day I arrived at the workplace and noticed my colleagues looking at me strangely. Feeling puzzled, I had barely sat down at my desk for half an hour before Phoenix Miller called me into his office. Ben, I didn't realize you were the other man for someone else. Do geniuses have peculiar hobbies or something? Would you believe me if I told you I didn't know my girlfriend of 8 years had secretly married someone else? Well, it turned out that yesterday, all employees of the company had received an email with the subject, "The year's tech department's been spent as the other man for love." The targeting was too obvious, which explained the strange looks I received when I came in that morning. It's probably Sterling Davies. He seems to have found out about Isabella Vansbella and me. He's just as clueless as I was, completely wrapped around that woman's finger. I couldn't help but roll my eyes. Can you fix this in a week? Tell me what you need. Though I find your blinded by love tendencies annoying. I can't blame you when you're so reluctant to give up your skills. Phoenix Miller patted my shoulder, speaking with a playful tone. My heart warmed. Although I hadn't known Phoenix Miller for long, he had always trusted me unconditionally. Okay, honestly, I had always felt indifferent towards Sterling Davies. After all, he was a victim just like me, also deceived by Isabella Vansbella. But his actions today made me suspect that he might have known about Isabella Vansbella and me all along, and that the marriage certificate incident was his revenge on me. After all, Isabella Vansbella had hidden it for so many years, hidden it so well. How could she suddenly be so careless as to leave the marriage certificate in her bag and forget it? I used my technical skills to recover my chat log with Isabella Vansbella, as well as videos recorded by friends during each proposal, and all the photos we took together over the years of full 35 gigabytes. Just as I was about to hire a detective to investigate Isabella Vansbella and Sterling Davies' past, I received an email. I opened it and saw it was from Phoenix Miller, titled, "Take it, no charge." I already had a hunch. I opened it and, sure enough, it was exactly what I was about to hire a detective to investigate. I replied with an email containing information about a defense system I developed in college. At the time, companies offered high prices for it, but I never sold it. Now, I wanted to give it to him. Just as the email was opened, my phone ringtone rang. Damn it, you made that insane panda system. Just wait, they'll take care of that person for you. Don't get involved, just focus on perfecting the system for me. Before I could answer, the call abruptly ended. I started to wonder if he was actually reliable. 3 days later, as I was testing the new system, I received a strange text message. "Can you meet me one more time?" Less than 10 seconds later, the message was identified as spam by my phone system and automatically deleted. But I knew that message must have been from Isabella Vansbella. I didn't want to go, but then I suddenly wondered how Isabella Vansbella even had the nerve to come looking for me again. So I called Isabella Vansbella myself. Address and time. Ben, if you don't tell me, I'm hanging up. Done. Tomorrow, a.m., at the Willow Creek Art Gallery entrance. Isabella Vansbella's voice sounded quite tired. I guess Phoenix Miller had made his move. The next morning at a.m., I arrived punctually at the Willow Creek Art Gallery entrance. Isabella Vansbella hadn't arrived yet. Just as I was about to turn and leave, someone tugged at my sleeve. I frowned and turned, only to find it was Isabella Vansbella. She was holding 2 cups of coffee, the iced Americano we used to drink often when we went out together. "I'm sorry, I went to buy coffee. Here you go. Light iced original blend, triple shot." She smiled as she handed me the coffee, her voice tinged with a hint of appeasement. I stepped back, and seeing her puzzled expression, I chuckled. Isabella fans Bella, maybe you never noticed. But you're the one who always loved iced Americanos. I never liked bitter coffee. I only drank it with you because you liked it. No sooner had I finished speaking than the coffee and Isabella Van's Bella's hand dropped to the ground, her face paled, and she forced a smile. What do you like to drink then? Oh, go get. No need, there's no point in wasting time. Just say what you need to say directly. I've been quite busy lately. I interrupted her, the hint of impatience in my voice urging her on. I suddenly regretted it. Why did I bother meeting her? I was just asking for trouble. Ben, Sterling Davies and I divorced. You said before that if I divorced him, y'all pretend nothing happened. Isabella Vance Bella took a step towards me, her voice eager. Are you okay? If you are, maybe get your head checked at the hospital. By the way, are you still working at that workplace? If you are, I truly feel sorry for your company's boss hiring an idiotic employee. By the way, I won't be seeing you again next time. I was such an idiot to actually come and see you, under my sharp attack. Isabella Vance Bella's eyes gradually reddened. She tried to reach out and grab my clothes, but I dodged her as if she were carrying a plate. Good thing I broke up with her, or I might have caught whatever she has. No, maybe I already caught it, otherwise. How could I have been so idiotic as to say forgive her if she just divorced him? Is that something a normal person would say? Thinking about it now, I wish I could slap my past self. I never expected Isabella Vance Bella to divorce Sterling Davies. I had always thought Isabella Vance Bella loved Sterling Davies, otherwise, she wouldn't have secretly married him behind my back. Until Phoenix Miller sent me a PPT, it had only been less than a week since Sterling Davies had messed with me. And all of Sterling Davies' family information had been dug up. Only then did I discover that Sterling Davies was actually a rich second generation. His father was the owner of Pinnacle Properties, the company that went head-to-head with Phoenix Miller's family. And a dirty trickster who often played dirty behind the scenes. Ben, do you think this is enough for me to make Pinnacle Properties pay dearly? Phoenix Miller excitedly sent me a voice message. Didn't you say it was to help me? Oh, it's all the same. If Pinnacle Properties collapses, Sterling Davies won't be able to recover. I opened the PPT and saw that it contained Sterling Davies and Isabella Vance Bella's timeline together. And half of it was Isabella Vance Bella and my timeline together. Wow, but what does this have to do with Pinnacle Properties? Even though Sterling Davies is the sole son of Pinnacle Properties boss. Flip to the next few pages. I hesitated and flipped a few pages. Well, Sterling Davies was truly something else. He went all out to be with Isabella Vance Bella, directly using his father's company for economic crimes. I wondered why Isabella Vance Bella couldn't let go of me yet still married Sterling Davies. It turns out he just offered her too much human nature. I suppose is to enjoy following the drama. Less than a day after the PPT was released, it suddenly went trending. Isabella Vance Bella, the unfortunate victim's path as the other man, 8 years of love for 3 years of being labeled the other man. Karma finally caught up online and trending topics and memes kept popping up. Although I had anticipated this incident would cause a stir, I never expected it to explode like this. In just a short days, the topic's views exceeded 100 million. Enthusiastic drama followers quickly doxed Isabella Vance Bella. And Isabella Vance Bella was forced to shut down all her social media accounts due to cyberbullying. As for Sterling Davies, only 3 days after the news went trending, a news notification popped up on my phone at home. The only son of Pinnacle Properties was suspected of economic crimes and arrested. It also came with a video showing Sterling Davies, arrogant even with handcuffs on. Only then did I realize he had been taken in. But judging by his expression, he probably thought his father, as the only son's parent, would definitely bail him out. Too bad, his father would be joining him inside in a few days, and as one of the parties involved, I also started to receive attention. Until a sharp-eyed netizen discovered that I had never appeared publicly. It was always Apex Development Secretary handling my affairs. Why would such a minor employee earn such trust from the boss? Netizens followed the trail and found the Panda system I developed in college. This Panda system, could it be that Panda system from before? No way, no way. How could such a powerful figure also be blinded by love? Big shot, forget Isabella Vance Bella. Look at me, big shot, don't be so rigid about gender. I could be an option to blushing. Netizens began discussing me wildly. The related trending topics about Isabella Vance Bella were instantly pushed down. Panda system Big Shot is also blinded by love. Big Shot and I also have something in common. We're both blinded by love. Isabella Vance Bella. Let's live as a threesome. Creative netizens kept churning out frequent memes. And by the time I realized it, I had become a Big Shot who was also blinded by love. My private messages shifted from sympathy to various declarations of love, from both men and women. I didn't respond to any of them. I actually didn't want to make things so ugly with them. But Sterling Davies insisted on digging his own grave, so I couldn't be blamed. What I didn't expect was that at the height of the controversy, Isabella Vance Bella would still dare to show up. That day, I worked overtime until 2 in the morning testing data. When I got home and was about to open the door, a pair of hands suddenly grabbed my pants leg. In that moment, I was already prepared to fight, but then I realized the person was only gripping my pants leg. Making no further move, I had a guess, but it was the dark. And the street light by my door had broken yesterday and hadn't been fixed yet, so I couldn't see clearly. Isabella Vance Bella, it's me. Hearing the familiar reply, my heart finally settled. I walked inside and turned on the lights. Come in. Isabella Vance Bella's way of walking was very strange. She seemed to be limping. I came to give you something. Her voice was very soft. She placed a stack of documents on my coffee table. I picked up the documents and saw that they were evidence of Pinnacle Properties tax evasion and the flow of those funds. Only then did I look up at her. Isabella Vance Bella had lost a lot of weight and looked very haggard. There was even a noticeable bruise on her forehead, hidden by her bangs. You, I looked at her, surprised. Don't look at me. I'm so ugly right now. She suddenly raised her hand to cover her face as if she had just realized it. Her jacket looked empty, almost hanging loosely on her. I'm not here to beg to get back together. I just wanted to do something for you. I know my greed led to the situation today, but there's no use saying anything now. I'm sorry. I don't expect your forgiveness, but I am sincerely apologizing to you. After speaking, Isabella Vance Bella gave me a deep look, then turned and walked towards the door. That look in her eyes was the complex. So complex I didn't know how to describe it. I stood there stunned. Watching her leave, I actually wanted to ask her why she had ended up like this, but the words wouldn't come out. I gave Phoenix Miller the evidence Isabella Vance Bella had given me. He went straight to the tax bureau without a word. The evidence and documents were all complete. Pinnacle Properties was investigated. Sterling Davies was still in jail, waiting for his father to get him out, unaware that he would soon be reunited with his father inside. Pinnacle Properties, due to massive tax evasion, was ordered to repay $50 million in taxes, plus $4 million in late fees, and pay a $10 million penalty. Pinnacle Properties' entire liquid assets weren't enough to cover the fines. They were forced to sell off some properties and barely managed to scrape together the payment. But it still wouldn't last long, after all. How could a company continue without liquid funds? A month later, Pinnacle Properties filed for bankruptcy protection. A month and a half later, Pinnacle Properties officially declared bankruptcy, and Pinnacle Properties chairman jumped to his death. And his only son was still in jail for economic crimes, awaiting sentencing. I didn't really have a concept of company management, but I had always known that before its bankruptcy, Pinnacle Properties was indeed one of Crestwood City's top enterprises. It completely disappeared in less than 2 months. Even though I played a part, it still felt surreal. What are you thinking about? Thinking about Pinnacle Properties, huh? What's there to think about? Forget it, they'll take you somewhere fun. Phoenix Miller was still so playful. I smiled, shook my head, and followed him. He led me directly to a bar that looked quite upscale. I have work tomorrow. No. My face was full of resistance. Alcohol tends to dull the senses, and I truly don't like it, especially since my work is technical and requires a sharp mind. One wrong data point, and a month's work could go to waste. I really can't drink at all. It's fine, they'll give you time off, then I want half a month off. Done. The bar was dimly lit. I was led to a VIP room. Look, I saved this especially for you. An 80 to Lafayette wine. I haven't even brought myself to drink it yet. Try a sip. I looked at Phoenix Miller's eager gaze, took a sip, and it was surprisingly good. I chugged the rest of the glass. Hey, don't you know how to taste wine? You're chugging it. That's a very, very expensive bottle of wine. But you said you don't drink. Even though this is red wine, it has a strong kick. I couldn't hear the rest of what Phoenix Miller was saying because I'd taken another drink while he was talking, and my mind had completely turned to mush. When I woke up the next day, I found myself lying in a hotel room. My clothes replaced with the hotel's exclusive pajamas. You're awake, a soft female voice sounded next to my ear. Only then did I realize there was a woman lying beside me wearing matching pajamas. What the heck? Room service. Could you please open the door? Coming. I was still dazed, but the woman was already smiling as she got out of bed and opened the door. Help me. You homewrecker. Go to hell. It was Isabella Vance Bella's voice. I scrambled out of bed and rushed to the door. Isabella Vance Bella lunged at the woman, knife in hand. The woman had her back to me, and I saw that she could have easily dodged, but she deliberately took the stab. I rushed over to stop her. Isabella Vance Bella's eyes were bloodshot, and she struggled like a madwoman soon. The hotel security guards rushed in and restrained her. I was drenched in sweat, staring blankly at the woman's pale face on the floor and the pool of blood beneath her. A short while later, I was taken to the police station. Phoenix Miller arrived right after I did. He anxiously asked me what had happened. I briefly explained what I had seen. Oh, for crying out loud, what a mess. I told you this wasn't going to work. The woman who was with you this morning is my Chloe. She insisted she had liked you for a long time and wanted me to help her figure something out. Didn't I mention it to you before? You outright rejected me, so I resorted to this last-ditch effort, and she almost lost her life because of it. When I finished my statement and came out, Phoenix Miller was waiting for me at the entrance in his flashy Maserati. You orchestrated this, didn't you? I asked from the passenger seat, my expression grim. Oh, I told you this wouldn't work. My Chloe, she's not your Chloe, is she? I saw her deliberately let Isabella Vanzabella stab her. Since you already know, I won't hide it from you anymore. Isabella Vanzabella has to go to jail, otherwise she might keep bothering you for the rest of your life. Phoenix Miller's smiling face changed instantly, and his tone dropped. That's my business. I sat up abruptly, staring straight at him. Phoenix Miller slowed the car and pulled over to the side of the road. He got out of the car, lit a cigarette, then leaned against the car, saying nothing. I sat in the car, my chest feeling heavy. Benjamin Hayes-Ben, you're too soft-hearted. If you can't make a decision, I can help you. If you don't approve of my methods, feel free to expose me anytime. Isabella Vanzabella was sentenced to 7 years for aggravated assault, but her family strongly insisted on a psychiatric evaluation. The results showed schizophrenia. Isabella Vanzabella was transferred from the police station to a psychiatric hospital. I thought Isabella Vanzabella's family had faked the diagnosis, but then I realized she really seemed to be ill. A month later, I went to the hospital to see her. She looked even thinner, and the hospital gown hung loosely on her. I didn't understand why she suddenly developed schizophrenia. She had always seemed fine before. She sat on the hospital bed with her back to me, looking out the window. The afternoon sunlight fell on her, making her seem to glow. Isabella Vanzabella, I called softly. She slowly turned her head, her gaze vacant and not meeting my eyes. I walked over, watching her still staring blankly towards the door, and thought about reaching out to touch her. But just as my hand extended, her eyes suddenly filled with terror as she looked at my hand, and she began to tremble uncontrollably, screaming for me not to hit her. Before I could react, a group of doctors and nurses rushed in and pushed me out. I saw them firmly restrain her to the bed and give her the sedative injections before she finally calmed down. How did she end up like this? Doctor, excuse me, why is she? She's a poor young girl. She was subjected to domestic violence by her husband, along with long-term psychological pressure. I watched the doctor walk away, then glanced at Isabella Vanzabella's still furrowed brow as she slept. A wave of emotion washed over me. I suddenly remembered the first time I proposed to Isabella Vanzabella. When she saw me take out the ring, she was clearly incredibly touched, yet she still turned me down. If only at that time. But alas, there are no what-ifs in this world. Bonus chapter: Phoenix Miller. The first time I noticed Benjamin Hayes-Ben was during my junior year. He was a freshman. Honestly, I hadn't paid much attention to him at first, but he was just too high profile. I'd never seen a freshman make such a grand entrance, province and sciences. But his relationship with the top student in the state, at the time, I wondered what would become of someone like that after graduation. Unfortunately, to my disappointment, after graduating, he actually chose a very ordinary job just for that humanities valedictorian. T.S. Blinded by love is just having no ambition. I stopped paying attention to him, until one day, someone hacked into the system it painstakingly developed while I was admiring it. This was the security system it spent over a year painstakingly creating. I quickly patched it up. Thankfully, I managed to fix it, but I became interested in that person. I had my assistant investigate, and it turned out the person was from a rival company, and not even from their tech department, just a regular employee. Interesting. That made it easier for me to poach them. I didn't expect him to be fired before I even started recruiting. I had to seize this golden opportunity. So I drove my flashiest Maserati to his office building to seek him out. My assistant and I had confirmed they'd be processing his resignation today. Sure enough, I found him waiting at the entrance. The person who used to be so flamboyant now looked so downcast. I paused for a moment, then quickly followed him in my car, but his vigilance was so strong that I had to reveal my identity. I finally managed to recruit him, and only then did I learn that his previous job only paid him $5,000 a month. $5,000. Even the receptionist at my company makes $8,000. $5,000 for an Eastwood grad. When discussing salary, I immediately offered him $35,000 for a tech position. $35,000 a month still felt too low, but I was afraid he'd think I was scamming him. So I started with $35,000. He'd only been working for a few days when I received emails targeting him. Damn it, I finally managed to get him on board. And if he left because of this, wouldn't that be a disaster? I saw him collecting information, and without a second thought, I called my roommate, who now ran a detective agency. When my roommate sent me the materials, I was shocked. I wouldn't have guessed they were so madly in love back then, but it ended up like this after graduation. I casually sent him the materials, specifically stating that I didn't want any money for them. They'd probably be moved to tears. Hopefully, they'd be so touched that they'd stay with me and work for me for life. A few minutes later, I received his reply email. I thought it was just a simple thank you and was about to open it briefly and close it. But then I saw a system design concept and final product. Oh, for crying out loud, wasn't the system that perverted Panda system from back then? The Panda system that hacked my computer for an entire day and night. That could made it. I truly struck gold. I knew I was meant to be a boss. I managed to get such a rare talent. So, without another word, I called him and told him not to worry about anything else. I would personally handle those trivial matters for him. He just needed to focus on perfecting the system and make my company the most secure one. I actually thought about putting Isabella Vance Bella in jail too, but Benjamin Hayes Ben is just too soft-hearted. I had no choice but to set a trap for him. I thought he wouldn't find out, but he's someone who could design a perverted software like Panda. How could he not be sharp? He questioned me in the car. His serious tone annoyed me a little, so I just gave up trying to hide it. Benjamin Hayes Ben, you're too soft-hearted. If you can't make a decision, I can help you. If you don't approve of my methods, feel free to expose me anytime. Since you're unwilling to act, I guess I'll just have to be the sword in your hand, after all. I really need him to help me make money.